Good morning. Happy Friday, folks. It's 6:30 a.m., May 8th, and prices of Bitcoin currently at 99.35. All right. So let's get to the analysis. All right. First thing I want to show y'all is on Trading Light software. For all the walls that were pretty much holding us down in terms of the sell side, a lot of them, the significant ones, have disappeared. Okay, the real ones that we now have above us, the big ones, the multi-million-dollar ones, are now as one decent one at 10,200, which is about 4.6 million, 10,300, which is about 5.6 million, and then a pretty large one. Where was it? I think I saw one at 11,000 or something. But I guess, yeah. So for the most part, they're all about 5, 4 million, 3 million, no significant 10 or 16 million walls, because actually we saw that yesterday, the 10 and 16 ones. I think at this level right there, 10,000, I think, was a 10 or 16 million dollar wall. Let's dig into that a little bit more. Yeah, so you can see right there was like 13 or 14 million dollars, this wall right here. Okay, so the significant walls have been chewed through. Okay, now the question is, you're probably thinking, okay, well, doesn't that pave us an easier path forward? Yes and no. Okay, you have to understand that in terms of market dynamics, okay, retailers like you and I only assist in helping drive the market in a direction where it's accelerating already. Okay, so for the most part, when most of us are buying or longing, or retail is FOMOing into market orders like selling or market buying, right? We're helping accelerate the price up or down. It's the real market drivers, like the professionals and the bots and the algos, that are doing the heavy lifting. Okay, so with that being said, if you're thinking about this from that perspective, you have to think about, okay, well, we've hit a critical area, which is a 10,000 key level. We've had a lot of sellers, sell. All right, so does that mean that the buyers are now strong enough to, keep pushing through? Or have the buyers allowed the price to be guided up here, and now they're not really interested in pushing it further because they are the ones who actually sold here with these 10, 20, 10, 12 million dollar walls, or these $5 million walls, or this one right here around 11.4 million when we were just climbing up through 9,500. So a lot of selling has already occurred. All right, but again, that doesn't mean, I'm not implying and saying that we have to be topped off here and now we have to go down. It's just something to consider, because remember, these are the perspectives that you have to think about, rather than being in the herd and just perpetually longing. All right, now I'll tell you one thing. Okay, yesterday, we've had now three good long trades. Okay, we entered in a long at 91.68. We exited at 9,300 and 92.40. We then re-entered another long at 93.40 once we were having this breakout over here. I'll show you guys exactly where that was. That was around this area right here. All right, and we longed this. Okay, and we took profit at 94.75, 9,600. Okay, and then after that, we took another long. And we said, okay, well, I guess we're gonna, keep longing this thing if it's just gonna keep going, right? So we took another long at 9,500, or I guess 9,550, and then we took profit at 9,700, and then 99.50, as you can see. Okay, so we pushed all the way through, and then we finally hit that. What was it? There it is. Okay, we pushed all the way through to 10,000 or so. Okay. So fact of the matter is, here's our proof, right? 95.50 trade, 99.50 exit, so about $400. So we took, three great trades in the span of about 24, 36 hours, and we made some great profit. All right, there's no need for you to sort of think that this thing could just keep going up forever. All right, understanding when to take profit and do it consistently will always ensure that you are successful in this market. And I think this is where a lot of people fail, is that they're probably thinking that I'm just going to hold this and it's going to go to 11,000 and 12 and 15 and 20. And they eventually start selling when the price starts coming down, either because they're too scared, they're over leveraged, whatever the case may be. It's really because they don't have a game plan to follow. When we have a game plan to follow, we follow it, okay? And we walk out in profit, and we don't worry about what price is going to do after, unless it gives us another opportunity to get into a position, okay? So these are the rules that we set out for ourselves when we play the game of trading and investing, all right? And I hope you guys follow these rules as well, okay? So for the most part, here are my thoughts, okay? We're at a very peculiar spot in Bitcoin, right around 99.50. We topped out around 10,085.5, okay? Now here's a couple ways to look at it, all right? All right, let's look on the 4 hour, okay? 4 hour, this is a clear bearish divergence, all right? This right here, okay? Lower high on the RSI, okay? Higher high right there in price. Clear bearish divergence. Even on the OBV, okay? Very slight higher high on the OBV. Again, OBV is on balance volume. It helps you understand where the inflows and outflows are actually going into a particular asset, all right? So this was a high of 94.81. The high over here was 10,085, which was, almost like a $500–600 higher high. Yet the OBV was very, minimally higher. So it kind of tells me that, maybe this run up right here was either getting exhausted and it was sort of driven up forcefully, or it could very well just be that price itself was ripping through people shorting or short orders or short liquidations, and it was actually being driven up by that. But I have read that there was a good amount of organic, spot volume buying too. So I cannot definitively say that it was only, short orders that were fueling this. There's obviously some organic buying happening. So I do concede that I do think that this run partly was real buying happening. Now, again, as I've mentioned, do we know if that real buying was people who actually want to hold on, or is this a distributive process where the tops right here have all had significantly higher volume that comes in every time right there. High volume right there comes in, high volume right there comes in, high volume right there comes in. Even over here, decently sized high volume that comes in really at the tops. Obviously, this volume is much lower than it was over here, but this is somewhat of a positive sign. Now, what we need to do is to break the bearish divergence, push the OBV higher. Okay, we need to push towards 10,500, maybe 11,000 to beat out this bearish divergence. Not that it, completely signals we have to go down, but that would be a clear indication that, okay, things are really, really bullish, okay? And that means that, all the indicators themselves will point the signs of, it's not supposed to go down from here, rather that all the indicators are flashing up and more bullish momentum. Right now at present moment, they're actually not. We can even look at this trend line right here that I created, right? We're pretty far extended away from the trend line. And so it's very possible that, let's stretch out this trend line farther out. It's pretty possible that, we kind of just grind down maybe towards 9.7, 9.8 again over the next day or two. Pull back just a little bit, retrace, because we had a good amount of hype going in. I think yesterday was a good, $800, $900 candle right there. So who knows, we might need a bit of a retracement. Now, there are arguments to be made that this is a top. Okay, so let me show you guys that. All right, so here's the Bitcoin dollar chart. Let's go to the 3-day chart. All right, if we do something like this, right? So let's just say, I'm gonna put this top right there, that top right there, okay? You could see that we are just poking past that top, okay? Which is this trend line coming from this key high in June 2019, this key high in February 2020, which is 2 months ago or so, 2 or 3 months ago, and now we're just poking past that, okay? If we close up here and the follow-up candle starts looking bullish again, chances are we're probably going to go to 10,500, and that's where this comes from. All right, so I'm going to point this out to you guys. Remember that this was the key high right here, where price, hit this wick during the short squeeze in October 2019. All right, and on a 3-day chart, you can see these two candles right here in September are the two candles that closed below that 10.5 marker right there that you see. All right, and then we dipped down, tested it as resistance, broke down some more, came back in February and tested it as resistance. So if we actually push up past this, I'm fairly certain we could get all the way to 10,500. But there's also a possibility that this could really be the top of this descending trend line that's coming in, and we could start reversing from here. Okay, excuse my voice. So these are the things that you want to pay attention to. Now, if we're talking about bullish scenarios, okay, this could be another bullish scenario where it's something like this, like this, like this. That's your, inverse head and shoulders pattern, okay? So if we have something like this being created, even though I don't really think the volume matches for this head and shoulders pattern, I'm just saying that, it's possible that we might be creating something like this, okay? If we have something like this created, this might span out into August or September for the right shoulder, and it might be a big drag down, right? So let's just say that this is maybe the top that we're experiencing right now. Okay, let's just say this is the top, right? Well, the retracement on the way back down, the 50% is around $6,800. The 618% is right around 6,000 flat, basically. Okay. Now we could also turn on the VPVR, right, which is the volume profile, and we can see there's a good amount of support way down here around $7,900. Okay, so it's very possible that we at some point, whenever we do retrace, we come down to that area. If we break that, then we're definitely going to go to 7,100 or so. So a lot of different levels of support standing between where we are right now and on the way down, but also resistance levels on the way up. So this is not just going to be a smooth ride, in my opinion, of just continuously going up. Because again, I've stated before that we've now had like 8 straight weeks of very strong bullish momentum. And if we're looking at it from the weekly perspective, all right, we're coming very close to this key high right there. Okay, this is where both these weekly candles opened and closed right there, right? The wicks poking past them, but none of them were able to get past that, right? So that's around 10,172. Yesterday, we topped off at 10,085. So we're not really too far from that 10,172 marker, okay? So things to keep in mind. But again, going back to the smaller time frame, it's hard to deny that we're looking extremely bullish, and I can't really say that we're going to stop, dead in our tracks right now. Okay, we'd have to then see hourly time frames, 4-hourly time frames, showing us that we're retracing, we're breaking, key support levels. First one being, if we start breaking this trend line right here that you're seeing, that would be this ascending trend line that you're seeing. That would be a pretty bad sign, especially if we break this marker right here, okay, which is around 92.40 or so. Then we'd probably make the argument that 8.5 is the next big target. But again, we're pretty far from that, right? We have a lot of different levels of support between us where we are right now and all the way down to lower prices. Okay, so for now, I still have my bias that is facing looking at pullbacks as longing opportunities. But until then, until I see a 4-hour or daily turnaround, I don't really know if I want to short this. Okay, at least not aggressively. If I'm looking to short, I'm looking ins and outs. Okay, like I'm looking for a quick movement like this, and that's it. Okay, healthy pullbacks that are retracements, but ultimately, price is looking to push back up. All right, so these are things that you want to pay attention to. Alternatively, you can also look at this particular trend line right here. Okay, which was the horizontal. This was the key marker where we got rejected, pulled back, smashed up through, got rejected again, pushed up with a lower high, and then forced down. So now we're hitting that key area. So if you want to short, this is the area that you want to short right around here. Again, not investment advice, but you'd want to short here, stop above this area. Personally, I don't think, it's wise to sort of short and thinking that it's going to be a swing short. Like I said, if you want to short, it's going to be quick ins and outs, okay? Yesterday, Paul Tudor Jones, famous investor, famous philanthropist, he talked about, buying Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. This is the kind of BS that when I look at it, when markets are topping off, I always think that, it's a brilliant strategy. You go on a network, hype up Bitcoin, hype up whatever you hold, and push the prices higher, and then you get to unload on retail. This is literally the playbook of all investors utilizing the media, newspapers, social media now to hype up the train. Okay, so do be careful when people like this talk about Bitcoin is great and it's a great hedge against inflation. It reminds them of gold from the 70s, all that garbage. Like, where were they when Bitcoin was down here, right? So just I urge you guys to be a little bit more careful of these people effectively talking about Bitcoin as the next best thing since sliced bread, but in fact they might actually be dumping their bags on you. Okay, all right. Last but not least, do check out my Twitter. I have a lot of important information that I retweet. I do still believe that we are still looking for a leg down at some point. I know that in these 8 weeks, things look extremely bullish. It's not like there's a recession happening. It's not like economies across the world are shut down. It's not like, unemployment is at all-time highs across the world. I think people have a very quick, goldfish memory, especially when they see prices just rocketing in the stock market, in the Bitcoin market, even in gold. I think in my opinion, I think there's small bubbles that are being exploited to the upside, not only in Bitcoin, but I think in tech stocks, I think in gold, even oil itself, popped a significant amount from its lows right here, right? So if we look right here, okay, oil went from, basically being valued as 0 all the way back to 25, right? It doesn't even make any sense that oil is at 25 because it's not like economies are relaxing their restrictions. It's not like the supply shock has changed. It's not like the demand shock has changed. So this to me is a very ridiculous price point right here, where oil has gone from $0 basically to 25. And so this is what I mean by bubbles themselves being created. Okay, and tech stocks too, right? If we start looking at Amazon itself, Amazon has literally just taken off. Or is it like Netflix itself? I understand that there are certain stocks that are more valued than others, okay, because they're actually capitalizing on the fact that this is a recessionary environment and their business might get better, but their business is not significantly better than it was pre-coronavirus. Okay, see, that's the difference, right? Valuations and earnings do not apply right now to current prices of stocks, all right, because it's the Fed that's really intervening in this market and putting in backstops where markets are sliding. So it's a very distorted way of looking at prices across the board, whether it's Netflix, whether it's Amazon, whether it's most tech stocks, even in my opinion, Bitcoin, right? I understand that the halving is coming up. We had a big sell-off. There might be a lot of weak hands out of the market, but for the most part, I don't know how Bitcoin could sort of climb up so fast, so high, without any meaningful pullbacks and not have it crash in the next, few weeks or few months. That's what I'm saying. Be very careful in thinking that, okay, well, I'm going to buy here and expect 20,000. Okay. I don't think it's going to be that easy, folks. All right. Making money in any market is never really that easy. You often will give that money back. We have a rule in the markets where it's the 90-90-90 rule, which is 90% of people lose 90% of their money in less than 90 days. That percentage is actually, significantly higher in my opinion. It's probably like 94 to 96%. But nonetheless, you understand that rule about, a lot of people essentially losing money in the markets because that's how it works. Okay. You can't have, everyone making money all the time. It's kind of like looking at a casino, right? Casino often always wins. If not, there's very few players out there who are really smart, who don't get too greedy, and they're the ones who win. But they don't win in thinking that they win all the time. Once they win a little bit, they'll walk away instead of getting greedy. All right. So in many ways, the financial markets are kind of like a casino in a sense, where you have to tap into your own psychology and tame it from being too greedy, but also understanding when markets are overvalued. And if they are overvalued, you need to be careful. Yes, you can make money on it, but still be careful. Okay? All right, that's it, folks. I hope you guys join the Advantage membership. Again, the link is below. You can, see all the work and time that we put in. Bitcoin analysis channel right here has a ton of information that we put out. People from all over the world watch our analysis. We have people from South Africa, New Zealand, and India, and Netherlands, and Japan. We have people from South America. So people from all over the world of different ages, they understand our way of looking at the market. They like how we look at the market. They talk about, this is a better group than most because we do not just FOMO into things. All right. We have a methodical way of looking at the market. We look for the short-term plays as well as the long-term plays. Okay. So I hope you guys are interested. Go to the Cryptosomniac website. The link is below. Sign up right now. You can get analysis for crypto. You can get analysis for equities right here every single day. Vassal himself puts out stock of the day alerts every single day. Yesterday, one of our stocks was Abbott right there. As you can see, Vassal day trades in the stock market as well. I take trades in the Forex markets. Here's one of our trades that got stopped out just yesterday. All right, this is the Aussie dollar short. And even though, this is a lost trade, I want to show you guys that this is a losing trade because I don't think there's people out there who actually want to show you losing trades. Okay. But the fact of the matter is losing trades are part of the market. All right. You're never just going to have a winning streak over and over again. Talking about your losers is equally as important because it shows you that, we are able to keep our losers small. As you can see, we had a stop set right here, 0.6516, and that stop got hit. And I even explained the reasoning behind that is the Aussie dollar right there, right? So if you look at the Dixie, which is the US dollar currency index, yesterday the Dixie itself broke down, meaning the dollar itself got slightly weaker, all right? And so if the dollar got weaker, that means currencies against it, like the Aussie dollar right there, gain strength against it. Currencies, maybe even like the euro dollar right there, see, gain strength against it, okay? So this is how you need to understand how the macro picture, all these different moving parts fit into one another, all right? So I hope you guys come join the Advantage membership. Like I said, you get all this kind of analysis, Forex updates, Forex chat right there where you can discuss all kinds of, Forex pairs. Vassal gives oil analysis as well. You could, if you're someone who likes to trade energy stocks or you want to get into trading futures or ETFs, you can ask questions right here regarding oil. And then, like I said, when it comes to crypto, we have a ton of analysis. And we even have a Bitcoin halving party that's coming up next Monday. So if you give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment that you want to join our Bitcoin halving party, I will let you in. Just, come join the Advantage side right here, or, even the free side if you want, and I will give you free access to the Bitcoin halving party. All right. So that'll be a 12-hour stream where we're going to show you guys trades, education, look at the markets for 12 hours straight, and then also watch the Bitcoin halving together as a community. Okay. So come join the hundreds of different traders that we have in our community. Every single day we have, people discussing what's happening in price action. Everyone has their unique ways of looking at the market. People from all over the world, like I said, everyone has an equal say of how we look at the market, and I really appreciate all our members. So I hope you guys come join and hang out with us, all right? Well, take care. Cheers.